Hello everyone, today we're talking about giants. They're a big deal in D&D. That's the pun. Don't worry, there'll be more. Giants have such specific lore in D&D, but we also have a kind of nice eclectic blend of them as well. And there's just such a nice fantasy trope of that. Something way bigger than yourself that is kind of like you, but not. Tell me about what's new for giants in D&D.
We revisited all of the classic giants and wanted to make sure that they truly, as we did with every creature in the book, hitting for their weight class. And that's especially important for these gigantic creatures that are meant to feel mighty. Our giants in 2014 had a particular issue in their design where many of them, the moment they used if they had a ranged attack, often they would actually fall off their challenge rating, right, and in actuality be lower than the listed challenge rating. So one of the things that we were very focused on with giants is making sure, as we redesigned each of their stat blocks, that whether they're hurling mighty boulders or pummeling you up close, they are going to truly feel mighty. We also wanted to integrate in more of the elemental feel into each of the giant types. I mean, when you have fire in your name, frost, stone, storm, cloud, we wanted more of that to come through rather than it existing primarily in the story text. And so as people return to these giants that have been in the game since the first edition Monster Manual, you're going to see that there really is a lot of storminess in the Storm Giant. There are truly clouds in the Cloud Giant, frostiness in the Frost Giant, and so on. We really wanted their identities to come fully to life.
What is the appeal of giants? Like, what's so exciting about that?
Well, I mean, one of the awesome things about D&D's giants is that over 50 years of D&D, each one of them has really taken on a life of their own, an appearance of their own. Sure, these creatures are so rooted in world mythology, but D&D's giants aren't like any other's giants. Like, for example, the Cloud Giants have always, going back to first edition, had like fangs. So like these are elements that, like little neat things that we wanted to pick up that you're going to see in the art, but also an evolution of the way that they've been presented and things that make sense for these creatures that live in such specific environments, biomes, so on and so forth. Like, for example, one of the things that I absolutely love is the new art for the Stone Giant. We've always seen them as these tall, gray, humanoid figures, but not all stone is gray. So we really wanted to like take something that was fundamental to the Stone Giants and show some of the variations. So now when you have Stone Giants that are in their natural environment, you can see that they have the potential to blend in with that specific environment, which means that you might have like the Stone Giants that you see depicted in the Monster Manual with these like limestone striations running through them, just to show some of the things that you can do with these giants to make them feel more specific to an environment or your campaign.
Yeah, I've always loved D&D's giants are so different than what you would see in like a movie or different stories, is because they're so specific. Like the way that stone giants see the world. They see the outside world outside their cave as the dreaming. Elements like that make me so happy. Cloud giants tend to be a little bit more tricksy.
D&D's giants also, as when you go to the earliest days of the D&D multiverse, giants and dragons had a famous rivalry, and they map to different elements just as particularly the chromatic dragons do.
Right.
And so the D&D giants feel like distant mythological cousins to D&D's dragons. And indeed, they spent the early days of the multiverse warring with each other. And giants also represent, in many ways, a holdover of a lost civilization. This is something that we explore in Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants, of, they were once the prominent peoples on many D&D worlds and have retreated to their various reclusive environments. And, perhaps they will rise again, or perhaps these titanic people will continue to be strangely inconspicuous. And I've always loved that dichotomy of D&D giants of the tallest the tallest people are the ones you often are least likely to meet. And part of that is, after millennia of wars and their civilizations falling, they have almost retired to sort of tend to their wounds, get their energy back. So I, as a dungeon master in particular, often view giants as those ones like, keep an eye on them. They might be up in their cloud castle or in the ocean or deep in a volcano and seem to be keeping to themselves, but just be careful. Because as we explored in the adventure Storm King's Thunder, when they do rouse themselves, when they do suddenly reappear on the world stage, the earth literally shakes. And so they are creatures that it's like, don't ignore them for too long. And they might show up as a great ally, but they could also show up as one of your most dreaded foes.
Now, it's not just the typical giants that you find in the giants, like the storm giant, stone giant, hill giant, but we also have other creatures like the Etten is part of this, the two-headed giant. We've got Cyclops, and we've got more than one. Same thing with the Ogre. We have more than one Ogre in here, and Troll. We have more than one Troll. Can you tell me a little bit about these?
So we, as we have with some of the other groups in the book, we looked for opportunities for expanding the family. And so, as you mentioned, one of the little families we expanded was the Cyclops family. We already had in the 2014 Monster Manual kind of a bruiser Cyclops. In the story for the Cyclops, we talked that some of them have, the powers of soothsayers. They can see the future. They have divinatory magic. And we wanted to actually bring that more into the Monster Manual. And so we introduced a spellcasting Cyclops to be a companion to the more bruiser Cyclops. And now that means with those two, a DM can sort of create this dynamic of, the Cyclops who, with their single eye is peering into the future, while another with their single eye is very singularly hunting you down, or perhaps standing beside you in battle against some greater foe.
It was also an opportunity with the Cyclopses to help distinguish them from hill giants, which are very close in CR and are another example of just like, it's a big guy, they often have a club, they're coming after you. Giving the Cyclopses a little more of those oracular abilities, some really fun ways to like play even with the dice to make it feel like that they know what's coming, really helps give them their own place and make them feel like their own critters.
Feels like a little bit of a Krull reference. Or is it older than that concept of Cyclops being able to see into the future?
It's older than that.
Yeah, okay. I figured it probably was.
Yeah, Krull. Basically, we and Krull were dipping into the same mythological cauldron.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would be unique to Krull, though I love Krull. And Liam Neeson's very small part in that. We have the new Ogre. What is this Ogre about?
The Ogre, we made sure, this was one of the creatures, the Ogre is still just very much doing what an Ogre needs to do, which is in many ways be a giant lump of hit points that hits you for a big lump of damage. And that is, the Ogre continues to do the Ogre's job. Really, we viewed the Ogre as in many ways your intro giant, because in most D&D campaigns, the first member of the giant creature type that you'll meet is the Ogre. And so we preserved the Ogre's simplicity, but then also wanted to make sure we were differentiating the other giants more from the Ogre, because when we were evaluating the 2014 giant family, we felt that not only was the Cyclops too close to the hill giant, but the hill giant was too close to the ogre. And so where you're going to really see new differentiation is especially in the hill giant and in the Cyclops, because the hill giant now isn't just a bigger ogre, but is smashing you with a tree, and is lobbing trash, I will say with air quotes, that can poison you. And we will leave it up to the DM to describe
What type of trash?
What is the hill giant throwing?
There's a lot of discussion about this in like the late days of putting this book together.
Great. Poo throwing ogre. I mean,
No one said that.
No one said that.
No one
said that.
No one said that.
Has there been changes to the Fomorian?
Yes.
Speaking of Cyclopsian-like creatures.
Yeah, so the Fomorian got not only the mathematical tune-up that all of our giants got, ensuring, again, that they are as dreaded as they should be for their CR, but we also we did some tinkering with their hexing ability. And so you're going to see that they feel even more sort of magical than they did before, because they were another one that we needed to differentiate from the ogre, the hill giant, and the Cyclops, because they also before were just sort of a bruiser with a twist. And so what we did is we made sure there were a few more twists.
The Formians were also a creature where narratively they've always had this story where in the past they've participated in some crime and they've been cursed by Anam, the father of the giants. But what form that curse has taken, whether it's their current shape or whether it's other elements, we wanted to play with that and make it a little more magical and, frankly, a little grosser and a little more up to particular DMs. So you can have Fomorians that are suffering from a variety of curses. So there's even a little table in there now of how are your Fomorians cursed with things like colorful wandering pustules or patches of wriggling hair, like unnatural things that hopefully set DMs down some particularly grotesque paths.
Perfect. Disgusting. I always enjoy ends. I always like myself a good end. Mm-hmm. So that's always a fun thing to play with. Troll limb is in this.
Yes. So
I have questions.
In the 2014 Monster Manual, we had an option, the loathsome limb option, that was a callback to the original inspiration for the troll in D&D, which is the troll in the novel 3 Hearts and 3 Lions. And what we decided this time is to take that loathsome limb option and integrate it directly into the troll. And so now what that means is there's a chance that when you're fighting a troll, you will lop off a piece of the troll, and we now have a complete stat block for troll pieces. It's just called troll limb, that can be used to represent various parts of the troll that are getting lopped off. And then this troll limb has the chance of then regenerating into more full-size trolls. So we've really leaned hard into the core horror of the troll, which again comes from the creature's original inspiration.
You know me, I'm trying to think of how to farm it already, like just cutting off troll limbs, growing new trolls, troll burgers, troll steaks.
No.
It's just like the deadhead tree from Ben Richten's guide. Like, it's easy lumber.
Yes.
This is good. Like, troll hot dogs is an easy win.
I'm not sure you want to eat meat that regenerates.
Yeah,
It
may birth.
Yes. that can, because as you'll see with the troll limb, that given enough time, it could turn into a full-size troll.
I'm always really excited, especially with D&D Beyond. It makes it so easy to look through all these different types of monsters, but my only issue is with the giants because of the online trolls.
Oh my God. I didn't get my protective spell up in time again.
Gotta get that shield up.
I know.
Yeah, your reaction was slow.
It was too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very proud of that one.
Psychic damage again.
Yeah. I have a wife who loves me very much because I test these. I look for the worst look.
So now I know I need to go to her to warn
What's he going to say?
so we can get our abjuration up in
Yes.
time.
I feel like we're not going to get a lot of sympathy.
Well, that was Giants. Yeah. Always a soft spot in my heart for all things Giants. And I do like, it feels like they're very much more in tune even with the Goliaths. As much as the Goliaths are more in tune with what these Giant types are, now it feels all more connected, more holistic. I like it. I love it. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will have a ton more videos all about the different monsters in the new Monster Manual. You can purchase the brand new Monster Manual and all 3 of the Core 2024 Core Rulebooks by clicking on the link in this video description. I'm Todd Kenrick. Thank you so much for watching.